There are days when the world feels like a symphony of static, a low, persistent hum of uncertainty that vibrates just beneath the surface of everyday life. You wake up, make your coffee, and the news on your phone isn't just headlines anymore. It's a forecast for the soul, often predicting storms. For Elena, a single mother navigating the everyday currents of life, that hum had grown louder lately. Her mornings began with the quiet clatter of breakfast dishes and the soft glow of her phone screen, where the world's anxieties played out in stark headlines. She tried to shield her son Leo from the harsher realities, but he was 15, sharp, and increasingly attuned to the tremors shaking their world. Her sister Maria called last week, her voice thin with worry. Maria worked for a federal agency, and the whispers of a government shutdown, of mass layoffs, had turned into a chilling wind through her office. Elena listened, a knot tightening in her stomach. Even if her own job was secure, the ripple effect of such instability felt like a cold hand reaching into their own small, carefully constructed life. It was a reminder of how fragile everything felt, how quickly the ground beneath them could shift. Then, Leo came home from school the other day, eyes wide with a story he'd heard. Something about common medicine and autism, a wild, unsubstantiated claim, spreading like wildfire through the schoolyard, amplified by the digital echo chambers he navigated daily. Elena had to sit him down, patiently explaining the difference between fact and fear, the importance of questioning what you hear. It was a crack in the foundation of trust, right in their own home, showing how easily truth could be twisted, how quickly fear could take root. And then there are the stories that hit you like a punch to the gut. A facility in Dallas, a gunman, a message scrawled in anger. It's a stark, brutal reminder of the deep fissures in our society, the desperation that can boil over into tragedy. It makes you wonder, what kind of world are we building? Elena saw the fear in the eyes of a friend, an immigrant, who spoke of heightened anxieties, of feeling targeted. It wasn't just a distant headline, it was a shadow cast over their community. Every trip to the grocery store felt like a negotiation. The news talked about a stronger labor market and tempered expectations for rate cuts. But all Elena saw were prices climbing, slowly, relentlessly. The cost of milk, the price of bread, each item a small, quiet erosion of certainty. It was a constant recalculation of what they could afford, what small luxuries they might have to give up. The planned trip to the Science Museum, a treat for Leo, now felt like an indulgence they couldn't justify. Leo, with the earnest intensity only a teenager can muster, often asked Elena about the future. He saw the warnings from the United Nations about artificial intelligence arms races, the stories of corruption in flood control projects across the globe, the art exhibitions themed Storm, exploring ecological and societal turbulence. He'd scroll through his feeds, his brow furrowed, and ask, "Mom, is it always going to be like this? Is everything just falling apart?" His questions, innocent yet profound, echoed her own unspoken fears, adding to the weight she carried. One evening, Elena found him hunched over his laptop, not doing homework, but scrolling through endless feeds, his face illuminated by the blue light, shadowed by a weariness that shouldn't belong to someone so young. He looked up, and in his eyes, Elena saw not just fear, but a creeping cynicism, a resignation that chilled her to the bone. He was retreating, becoming a spectator to the world's unraveling, rather than a participant in its making. Elena felt a surge of helplessness. She couldn't fix the world for him, not with a single word or a grand gesture. She couldn't stop the political machinations, or the spread of misinformation, or the rising tide of global anxiety. But she could control her response. She could choose how she and Leo would navigate this turbulent sea. She remembered a small piece of news she'd skimmed earlier that day, the UCI Road World Championships, happening in Kigali, Rwanda. The first time the event was hosted in Africa. A global event, a celebration of human endurance and spirit, breaking new ground. It was a small thing, a flicker, but it was real. "Leo," she said, her voice soft, "did you know the cycling championships are in Rwanda this year? The first time ever in Africa." He looked at her, surprised, his scrolling fingers still. "It's a big deal," she continued. athletes from all over the world, pushing their limits, together. It wasn't an escape from their problems, but a reminder that amidst the chaos, there is still progress, still joy, still connection, still human endeavor that transcends borders and headlines. And then, she did something else. She signed them up to volunteer at the local community garden next Saturday. No grand pronouncements, just a simple act. "We can't control the storms out there, Leo," she told him, "but we can tend to our own patch of earth. We can build something, however small, right here." He looked at her, a flicker of surprise, then a slow, almost imperceptible nod. It wasn't a solution to the world's problems, but it was a step towards tending their own garden, towards finding their own light in the gathering shadows. And sometimes, Elena realized, that's all we can do. To choose action over despair, connection over isolation, and hope over the hum of uncertainty. To remind ourselves and those we love that even in the storm, we can still grow.